So day two's first panel, crafting your home, and it goes for an hour and 15 minutes. Explore fundamentals of crafting and base building, including how they combine to enable new opportunities for players and ultimately create the future of life among the stars. It's pretty clear that it's base building, right? But what will that entail? Now, last week we had to execute on, for an impromptu, pretty much a speculation citizen, where we're looking at the ships that were leaked, or vehicles that were leaked from the 3.24.2 game files, that it appears that there's a lot of focus on industrial based ships, and their focus is primarily on base building or material gathering. And what I'm thinking, because it's talking about crafting and base building, I think what we're going to see for base building is we'll not only have like habitation modules, but modules for mining, modules for manufacturing. Manufacturing what? I have no fucking idea. We could see the crafting system in terms of like being able to take blueprints and craft a power plant. So if you're out on the frontier, you can purchase blueprints, which gives you a license on being able to build power plants. So you build your base out on, let's say, Castra's planet. I can't even remember what it was fucking called. I like Castra because of the blue sun or blue star. We're gonna go to Castra. We're gonna build a base on their planet. Maybe they might mention it. Like, if they do mention station building, it'll be more like, and we're planning on doing this later in the future. Cascom, right? Looking at Cascom, building a base on Cascom. Settled as a forward military base and training facility. Cleared for civilian habitation after the collapse of the Mesa area. From my understanding, the Mesa area only collapsed recently, like a couple of centuries. If this was cleared for habitation or for civilian habitation, they may not have a lot of infrastructure there. So you're looking at building a player base, and you may have an opportunity to do power plant manufacturing. You go to Cascom and you're building your base, and you're like, all right, well, I want to manufacture power plants. Potential for what we're doing here, and base building is pretty self-explanatory. We'll probably get habitation, repair, medical. I reckon we're going to get some sort of manufacturing capability. So ship components, maybe even personal items like weapons and things like that. Food generation, I'm not 100% sure. Like farming is something that was supposed to be planned for Star Citizen. Whether or not it comes in 1.0, I'm not 100% sure. In order to craft multi-tools, exactly. You can craft multi-tools and tractor beam attachments and salvaging attachments, so not far of a stretch to say that, you know, we might be able to craft further materials. Cargo storage, ship storage, craft containers, yeah. Like, I imagine farming is going to come as something like after we get 1.0, but we are going to have some sort of like method of being able to collect water, some sort of method of being able to generate nutrition. So I don't know, like maybe we will get some sort of limited farming where we have a greenhouse that we just throw seeds into and it just automatically creates fruit, and then we can take those fruit and throw them into a processor, and then it turns it into like cruise locks or something like that. I don't know if they'll go that deep in the complexity for crafting, especially for 4.0, because we're supposed to be getting base building around 4.0. It may get pushed out. Like, as a feature set, base building would enhance 4.0, but I wouldn't say that 4.0 hinges on it. And I think for 4.0, they're better off focusing on narrowing scope as much as they can. So if base building isn't working or isn't ready yet, it will probably get the axe until like a 4.x patch, which isn't a bad thing. Crafting, on the other hand, maybe we can craft things on ships. Like, we're supposed to be getting ships that are capable of refining ore. So miners go out, mine the raw materials, refine it, bring it to their base, turn it into a power plant. And what this does as well, and this is why crafting is so crucial, is that it gives you reason to go out and mine other materials other than the ones that make the most amount of money. They'll probably mention it there as well. I hope that's one of the things that they'll focus on. Now, I thought it was interesting because the next segment as well, like Captains of Industry, which only goes for 45 minutes, right? But it's a segue from base building. And this goes into that segment that we did last week, Execute, where it's uncover the ships and ground vehicles that will serve as your primary tools for base building in the verse, revisit a classic, and more. So the classic is probably the Pioneer, but the stuff that we looked at last week with Execute is probably going to be covered in this Captains of Industry, and they'll release, hey, we're selling these ships here for base building. This ship is also going to come out for base building and things like that. They'll probably start with the small stuff. Whether or not it's functional is another thing. It is in the game file, so it's possible that it's functional. but maybe not. Who knows? They may have put it in there and it's not ready yet. But I think Crafting Your Home and Captains of Industry are kind of panels that are joined together, and they're kind of just segueing from one through to the other. I can't remember any of the names of the ships that we're talking about, but I believe they were primarily MISC. So we're looking at MISC ships. The ground vehicle, I think, was Greycat or Argo. I can't remember off the top of my head. It'll kind of be interesting to see what they do there. I really hope we can like manufacture weapon emplacements as well to defend bases, and that we can create the automated systems for them. It's going to be a pain in the ass to be able to set up a base and then it's like, okay, cool, and a friendly A2 just shows up and bombs it into oblivion. But I don't think we really need to talk much more on that particular segment, because it's just going to be ships and vehicles that will coincide with crafting your home.